Hi my YouTube family, thanks for tuning in to today's video and a warm welcome to you if you are new here. In today's video, I'll be showing you step by step how to do a refill on Gel-X nails. So my client currently has a 3-week grow-out on her current set, and instead of soaking off and reapplying the Gel-X tips, I'm going to refill with hard gel. I realized that it doesn't seem to be a common practice to refill Gel-X nails, and I'm not sure why, but I've been doing it since 2022 and I've had no issues so far. Acetone is a very harsh solvent, and by harsh, I mean that it is used to dissolve fats, oils, waxes, resins, rubber, plastics, varnishes, and the list goes on. So I'm not particularly keen on having my clients endure a soak off every 2 to 3 weeks for the long term. No. So this is why I encourage, and that's why I promote refills on Gel-X. So ultimately, my goal is to limit my clients' exposure to acetone. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna remove the existing polish, and I'm using a carbide bit to do this. And this one is one of my favorites. It's a trapezium shaped bit and it's a medium grit. And I'm currently using my e-file at a speed of about 15,000 RPMs. Now, after removing most of the polish, I push back the cuticles and then begin my cuticle work. The first step in my cuticle work is to go in with a medium flame bit. First, I go in the reverse direction, and this will allow me to lift the proximal nail fold. And then I go in the forward motion. And this is the step that removes the dead skin and protein growth from the nail plate. And you most definitely want to use a medium flame bit for this process, because the fine grit, it might be too smooth and it's probably not abrasive enough to remove the dead skin that's stuck to the nail plate. And if it is that you leave any of these remnants behind, it will cause the gel to lift. And for this, I'm using a speed of 8,000 RPMs. So I've noticed that Gel-X, it has a tendency to lift around the cuticle area. So I'm gonna go in with an old nipper, and by old, I mean a nipper that I've retired and I've designated for it to be used for this purpose. So I'm using this old nipper and I'm removing the areas where the product has separated from the nail. Next, I nip away the dead skin around the cuticle area using a pair of sharp nippers. Once I've finished with the cuticle work, I go in using a 150 grit sanding band and I etch the entire surface of the nail, being sure to go around the cuticle area, and I'm also removing any other lifting that becomes apparent at this point. I'll now conclude the nail prep by cleaning and cleansing the nail with swipe and a manicure brush, and her nails are now ready for the enhancement. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you'd most definitely be familiar with my prep process, and you would have noticed that I've now incorporated 2 additional products. These are the Mia Secret Dehydrator and Acid-Free Primer, and I'm using them along with my usual Young Nails Protein Bond. And I've decided to include these for additional insurance, as some persons I've noticed are more prone to lifting than others. Next, I apply a thin layer of base gel, and the base gel I'm using is from Young Nails. Now for the hard gel application. Before building the structure, I apply a thin layer of the gel, and usually I fill one nail at a time. But for some reason, I was feeling a little ambitious and I decided to do 2 nails at a time. But I realized pretty soon after that it's not worth the risk, because doing more than 1 nails at a time, you risk the product flooding the side walls. So the hard gel that I'm using for this set is actually from Born Pretty. Once I've applied the gel on all nails, I'm going to give a good cleanse with some alcohol, and it's very important to saturate the nails really well, because we have to ensure that we remove all of the tacky layer, because we don't want the gel to clog our drill bits. Next, I file the nails into the designated shape using an 80 grit hand file, and I'll also shape the surface of the nail closer to the free edge, avoiding the cuticle area completely. Next, I'm going to use the same medium carbide bit that I used before, and I'm going to use this around the cuticle area to seal it and also to blend it in with the rest of the nail. But this time, I'm using it at a speed of 8,000 RPMs. Once this step is complete, I lightly buff with a buffing block. Then I'll ask my client to go and wash her hands with soap and water and to scrub the nails very clean with a manicure brush. Once she returns, I go in again with swipe and the manicure brush to remove any kind of oil or any kind of substance left behind by the soap. So this process dehydrates the nail, and then I go in with my design. And for today's design, we're just doing a pink French. Today's tools, implements, and more are listed in the description box below. So please be sure to check it out before you go. And I would also love if you could like and share my video with someone who you know could find some value in it. And if you haven't already, I would love if you could subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!